Today I want to talk about letting magic happen, releasing control, trusting the process, allowing the forces of the deep mind to do the work for you. Magic, unlike what many people believe, is not about forcing outcomes or micromanaging details. It's about getting clear upon your goal or your intention and aligning your energy, working the four corners of the witch's pyramid effectively in a balanced manner on your goal, and then stepping back and allowing the natural flow of magic to take over. And that's where the real power lies, not in effort, but in trust. What do I mean, let go? When you cast a spell and set your goal, and you actually cast that goal onto the screen of space, usually it's accompanied by an urge to control every aspect of the process. We want to know exactly how it's going to happen, when it'll manifest. But this need for control is actually an ego ploy that is trying to squeeze off the magic. It's like stepping on a garden hose while the water's trying to flow out of it. It squeezes it off. And if you squeeze it for too long, the whole new thought form begins to die. The need for control thus creates resistance. And when you plant a seed and dig it up to see how it's doing, we use that image quite a bit because it's a good one. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to kill our new thought form when it's just barely starting to germinate. We want to let it go and let the deep mind take over. Think of the deep mind as the earth, as the soil, the rich, fertile soil, and your spell as the seed. Once you plant that seed, you've got to trust that the soil knows what it's doing. Yes, you've got to water it. Yes, you must fertilize it. Yes, you must take care of it, but not that much. Really not that much. You don't need to overwater it. You don't need to do much. In fact, if you are working magic within the right framework, you don't really have to do anything. The rain will take care of watering it for you. The sun knows how to shine. The elements know what they're doing. And your job is to know how to plant that seed in the right season. And for us, that season is simply the waxing and waning moon. And so if you get your timing basically right, and you get your spellcasting techniques basically right, and it's not that complicated, it'll take care of itself. And usually when things don't work out, it's not because your spellcasting wasn't done correctly. It's usually because you've done something to kill it. Because the seed knows what it's doing, the earth knows what it's doing, the rain knows what it's doing. And all of those are symbols of the different forces of magic that already know what they're doing. It's not your job to create magic. It's your job to work magic. Magic already exists. Less is more. Less is more in magic. Letting go means releasing the need to control the how, releasing the need to control the when, and trusting that those forces of magic that you've set in motion know what to do and are already working on your behalf. Your job is to focus on the outcome that you desire, but not the mechanics of how it will come about. And once you've focused on the desire and worked your spell, we recommend that you forget about it. Let it go. Then you're less prone to squelching it. The deep mind is incredibly powerful. It knows exactly how to bring about your desires in ways that you may never understand or expect, but it can only work when you give it the freedom to do so. When you try to force or overthink the process, you're essentially telling your deep mind, I don't trust you and I'll take over from here. And this creates a block. It prevents the magic from freely flowing. Your surface mind doesn't have the skills or the resources to make magic happen. That's the job of the deep mind. The magician's purpose is to use some sort of technique, some sort of device to communicate from the surface mind to the deep mind, or to continue with our same analogy, plant the seed into the deep mind. And there's all kinds of ways to cast spells, and we give you many, many, many options. And there are as many methods of casting a spell as there are witches performing spells. Once you've done it, once you've given your deep mind the image that you want, then you must let it go. Think of it like working with a skilled artisan. If you're constantly hovering over them, questioning their every move, asking them why they're doing it this way, don't you think you should do it that way? You're ruining their work. You're not giving them the freedom to do what they know how to do and you don't. If you were the skilled artisan, you wouldn't have hired them. But if you step back and trust their expertise, they'll create something beautiful for you. And the same is true for your deep mind. Trust it to handle the details, and it will surprise you with its ability. There's something called the law of reversed effort that is really important to discuss when we're talking about how to let magic happen. One of the reasons why we have to let go and let magic happen is because of the law of reversed effort. The law of reversed effort states that the harder you try to force something, the more resistance you create. Have you ever tried to remember a name or solve a problem and only find that that answer comes to you once you let go and forget about it? In fact, if you can't remember something, you can't remember a name, one of the best things that you can do is out loud say, I'll remember that in a minute. Say it out loud, because that's talking right to your deep mind. I will remember that in a minute. And then forget about it. Drop it from your mind. Go do something else. Think about something else. And it'll pop up out of nowhere, usually very rapidly. It's the same exact principle. When you let go of control in magic, magic happens quickly. Trying softer rather than trying harder is the key to successful magic. You don't want to try hard with magic. In fact, you don't want to try at all. You want to let go and let magic happen. Magic works best when you let go. When you push or obsess over the outcome, you create tension that blocks the flow of energy. Again, you're standing on that garden hose. But when you relax, when you trust, and you let go, the energy flows freely, and the results always exceed your expectations. It's amazing. So how do you do this? How do we let magic happen? First, you must start with a clear goal in mind. When you're casting a spell, you must be clear about what you want. If you're not specific about what you want, then your deep mind doesn't know what to do. But being specific doesn't mean getting caught up in micromanaging the details of how it will unfold. Your job is the what, not the how or the when. For example, if you're casting a spell for abundance, focus on the feeling of financial freedom and gratitude rather than worrying about where the money's going to come from. Instead of doing a spell on getting money from a particular source, focus on the end result and let the deep mind deal with the hows, the ways, and the means. That's why people doing spells for the lottery rarely, if ever, work, because you don't want to tell the deep mind where your abundance is coming from. You just want to tell the deep mind what you want. Once you've cast your spell, you release it. It's been cast. Think about casting. When you cast something, you let it go. You can't cast and hold on at the same time. Think about a fisherman casting their line. If they cast it but hold on to it at the same time, it won't go into the water. If a pitcher is casting the ball to the catcher and they hang on to the ball, it's not going anywhere. So you must cast your spell. Once you cast it and release it, send it out into the universe. Send it deeply into your mind and trust that it's going to reach the right destination. That's how ingenious your deep mind is. Your deep mind is perfectly intelligent. It's smarter than your surface mind. It's brilliant. It knows exactly what to do. Even though you don't know the exact path it's going to take, it does. So you must learn to trust it. You must understand what your role is. Your role is to cast the spell and then stay open and receptive to the opportunities that come your way as a result of your operation. Relaxation is of primal importance in magic. This is how you let magic happen. Not only must you be relaxed during the spell casting process so that it's cast properly, but you must remain relaxed afterwards, especially in regards to the spell. If you start getting tense and upset and wondering where it's coming from, You have to be at the ready to address those tendencies so that you do not squeeze off the flow of magic to your goal and kill that new thought form. You must be prepared for it. When you notice yourself obsessing over the spell, stop. Use the off switch or some other technique to let go of the obsession and relax the body, relax the mind, and trust. Let go and let magic happen. In AA, they say let go and let God. It's a similar principle, but we're working on magic here. We're letting go and letting the magic of our deep mind take over. Trusting. You don't worry that your heart's beating. You don't worry that you're going to take another breath. You don't worry that gravity's going to stop working. Well, the deep mind is just as powerful as all of those things. If you've cast your spell, the deep mind knows what it's doing. It knows exactly how to bring it to you. And if you don't give it conflicting information, it will do its job. But see, the deep mind doesn't differentiate. The deep mind doesn't say, well, this will be good for you and that won't be good for you. Just like the earth doesn't know how to say, this is a good seed, this is a bad seed. You don't want this crop, you want this crop. It just grows whatever you put into it. And the deep mind is even different than the soil of the earth in that it doesn't matter what the climate is. It'll take any thought seed and start working toward it for you, unless there is another thought seed opposing it. You've planted the seed in your spell, but then you plant another seed saying, oh, maybe it won't happen, or I don't really deserve this. You're giving your deep mind conflicting instructions. Eventually, it just nullifies the whole thing, like mixing an acid and an alkali, and you get an inert substance, and nothing works. Instead, you get concerted with your spellcasting process, you plant the seed, and then you trust that it knows exactly what it's doing, and you keep your mind off of it, and you move on to something else, and don't bug it. Don't nag at it. Trust that it knows what it's doing. The second you catch yourself nagging at your deep mind about where is it, or whatever your worry about your situation is, you have something at the ready to nullify it, such as a thought. I have total trust that my deep mind has this taken care of. Or you use that off switch technique and you just turn off that obsessive thought. And you find something productive to do. Go read a book. Go clean your house. Go get ready for it. Go get ready for the manifestation. If we're productive with our actions in getting ready for the manifestation of our spell, for instance, if you've done a spell for a new job, go get your resume in order. That's an okay thing to do. You could go shopping for some new clothes to wear to interviews. That's a positive thing you can do. So if you're not forgetting about your spell completely, which is smart, you're doing something to prepare for its manifestation. Other than that, nothing. Let go and let magic happen. If you're casting a spell for love, you don't focus on a specific person. Instead, you focus on the feeling of being loved and being cherished and having a wonderful life and home with somebody, maybe a family, whatever it is that you want with a relationship. And then you trust that the deep mind will find the exact right person for you and bring them to you. And you release the attachment to who it's supposed to be. You allow magic to work. You let magic happen. And it happens in ways that are aligned with your highest good. Now, if you do happen to have a specific job or person in mind, make sure you say this or something even better, because that is a way of letting go and releasing your hold on the spell. Set it and forget it. Once you cast your spell, you release it and you don't revisit it or doubt it unless it comes up organically for you. Sometimes you do a spell, you cast a spell, and there are things that you need to do, and you will be guided. It will be obvious. So if you have to do some work, like go on that job interview or go on that date, you'll do it. But you're not obsessing over the spell. You are following directions. Other than that, you set it and forget it. When you're working on the spell itself, focus on the feeling of the accomplishment of it. You can use your powers of visualization to see yourself Like, for instance, if it's a healing spell, maybe you sprained your foot or something, you see yourself being able to run and do all of the activities so that it's obvious to you that your foot is healed. But you don't focus on how it's getting healed. You just know that the end result is that you have a healed foot. Another way that you can let go and let magic happen is focus on gratitude. It's such a powerful way to align with the energy of trust. Be grateful for what you have, even though it hasn't manifested yet in the physical. Be grateful that it's there. You know that it's happening. You know that it's already happening on the invisible plane, so it's just a matter of time before it becomes manifest on the physical. And you're grateful for that. It's a wonderful way to let magic happen. Stay open. Be flexible. Open to unexpected outcomes. If you're letting go and letting magic happen, weird stuff can happen in a wonderful way that you never expected because you have let go. You have taken your hands off of it. Manifestations can come out of nowhere and in ways that you had no clue. And that's fun. It's wonderful when that happens. But you have to let go. You have to be open to it. Create moments of stillness and relaxation every single day, especially after you have cast a spell. Make sure that you practice moments of stillness and relaxation. Sometimes we obsess over something and we're not conscious that we're obsessing over it. That is a very typical ego trick to keep you distracted from what you're thinking about. But if you schedule in time a few times a day where you can relax and let go and quiet your mind, then you will unravel those tendencies. Letting magic happen isn't only about achieving personal goals. It's about aligning with the natural flow of magic. The personal goals are methods of training you to do this. And it's an ingenious way of becoming a more magical person. You focus on being, doing, or having what you desire. And those are tools then that you are using to train your mind. And then your life becomes more magical, even outside of the spellcasting process. When you trust in this flow, when you do let magic happen, you create a sense of peace and harmony within yourself. And this inner balance then radiates outward. And it positively influences every aspect of your life and all of the world around you. Everybody benefits from it. Even though that wasn't necessarily your goal, I'm not a proponent of being a do-gooder. That's usually an ego ploy. But when you are working on letting magic happen for yourself, you do good, and the world does benefit. Once you realize that magic isn't about controlling the universe, it's about working with the universe, then it's easier for you to let go and trust and allow the forces of your deep mind to work in perfect harmony for you, which is the way it's supposed to be. Magic is not something you force. It's something you allow. By casting a spell and releasing control and trusting in the wisdom of your deep mind, you create the space for magic to happen. And the more you let go, the more you find that the universe has a way of delivering exactly what you desire in ways that you could have never come up with on your own. And frequently in forms that are so much better than what you thought you wanted. It's a wonderful thing. The more you get adept at working magic, the more magic happens for you in increasingly wonderful and mysterious ways. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I so appreciate you. Until next time, blessed be.